Good morning, students. Welcome back to Alchemy Online class. So, kids, what we learned in last class? Yes, we learned about different types of birds' feet and claws. Good. So, kids, in today's session, we will be learning about a very interesting topic, that is bird's nest. Have you seen any bird's nest? Okay, you have seen. Where? In trees. Very good. Then in your AC. Okay. What do birds do in the nest, dear? They lay eggs. Very good. Then what do? They give their young ones and protect themselves from the enemies in bad weather. Very good, my dear. Come on, tell me. How do birds build their nest? Okay, they use grass, then straw, sticks, then what they use? Cotton. Very good, my dear. So, kids, nest is nothing else, that is the home for birds. How we have house, the same way nest is the house. It is a home for birds. Birds lay eggs in their nest. They take care of their young ones from the enemies, as well as they protect themselves from the bad weather conditions. They build a nest with the help of the twigs, grass, straw, stick, leaves, and sometimes they use the mud also. Understood? As I said in previous class, there are different types of birds, and kids, they make their nest also in different ways. Let's see one by one. First, we learn about the woodpecker. We have learned that woodpecker, what they do, they dig the hole in the tree trunk, right? They dig hole, and that hole is used as a nest for the woodpecker. They keep their young ones inside the hole of the tree trunk. Are you able to see in the image? Very good. Next, we will be learning about the another type of nest, that is another type of birds which build a nest, that is about the eagle and vulture. Have you seen there? The eagle and vulture fly in the very higher area, right? So they build their nest in the very tall trees, sometimes in mountains also. Are you able to see the picture of eagle nest here? Yes, and it is called as an eyrie. Okay, and the nest is made up of stick, grass, twigs, and it is in the shape of a shallow cup. You can see in the image also. Clear? Now we're going to see about the another type of nest, that is the weaver bird. I have shown the image of the weaver bird's nest. It uses grass, twigs, and leaves to weave a nest on a tree with its beak. The nest has a tunnel-shaped opening at the bottom for the bird to enter. The nest hangs from the branch of the tree. Clear? You will be able to see the picture. The birds enter from the bottom, right? Now we will be going to see the next category of nest is the Tailor Bird. The word itself says Tailor, means it's going to stitch. The bird will stitch that nest. As shown in the image, you can see the Tailor Bird, how it stitches its nest. It makes its nest using a large leaf. It uses its beaks like a needle to stitch the leaves together. Sometimes using a cotton threads or threads from the spider web. Hence, it is called as an tailor bird. Understood? Understood, dear? The last type of bird which we're going to see is a penguin. You know what the penguin do? It makes its nest on the ground by carrying the pebbles, stones. Okay, now with a few stones or pebbles. You can see the image of penguin's nest. Clear? And the last part which we're going to learn in today's session is the raising their young ones. As we have learned that nest is a house for birds. Birds lay eggs inside the nest, right? And they take care of their babies. The mother bird sits on the egg for some days and keep them warm. This helps the baby bird for that development. Once it get developed, the egg get hatched and the birds come outside. But that bird, the baby bird, was very weak and featherless. They cannot. When you were also child of 1 or 2 months, are you able to walk? You can do your work. No, your mother take care of you. Your mother feed you and she take care of all your activities. The same way, when the baby bird was born, it was very weak and featherless. It cannot fly also. So the mother bird, what it do? It feed their babies and protect them until they can be independent. Until they can be independent. Understood, my dear? Now I'm going to show you a small video clip. In that video clip, you will be able to see all the birds and their nest, how they build. Please watch this video.
Birds. Kalpana lives in a high-rise apartment. The view from the balcony is beautiful. One day, as she was sitting in the balcony enjoying her big book of birds, she found herself in the company of 2 pigeons. They were sitting on the ledge of the window, for they had built their nest there. These commonly found birds build nests on ledges of windows and parapets of buildings. They even make nests among the thorns of cactus and hedges. Their nests are not very neat. Kalpana's attention was distracted by a black bird that was perched on the railing of the balcony. It was the common crow. She found its nest right on top of the nearest tree among the branches. The crow builds its nest with all kinds of things: twigs, pieces of wood, and wire. Crows live in large, noisy groups for many years. As she observed the crow's nest, Kalpana was drawn to a melodious sound. "Ah, I know this familiar bird call. It's the cuckoo," she said aloud. She remembered reading about the cuckoo in her book of birds. The quail or the cuckoo does not make its own nest. It lays its eggs in a crow's nest. The crow hatches the eggs and takes care of the quail's chicks along with its own. How interesting! Each bird builds its nest in different surroundings. Maybe I can find nests of different birds if I look closely through a pair of binoculars, thought Kalpana. What's that movement in the bush below? Is that a sparrow? Yes, it has its nest in the bush. Sparrows build nests in low bushes and cozy corners of houses, on top of cupboards, behind pipes, and on fans. They use twigs, hay, wool, and even paper to build their nests. The mother sparrow lays eggs and helps them hatch. The father sparrow brings food for the family. Together, the parent sparrows look after and feed the little ones until they learn to fly and search for their own food. Ah, here comes an Indian robin. Is that its nest between the stones? Kalpana wondered. The Indian robin's nest is made of soft twigs, wool, and cotton. Their nests are found on the ground between stones and on tree stumps. As Kalpana looked around, she was excited to see a barbet peeping from a hole in the tree. She remembered from the book that a barbet's nest is simply a hole made in the dead and decaying softwood tree. It lays its eggs on the bare wood in such chambers. Close to the barbet's nest, Kalpana found an empty bird's cup-shaped nest. She was amazed to see how well the bird had built the nest. It had combined twigs, leaves, and wires to make the hard outer shell. Soft cotton, feathers, and fluff lined the inside of the nest to make it soft and warm. Kalpana looked further away from the buildings, and her eyes caught a duck swimming on the glittering waters. How can I forget the duck? Where does it build its nest? She wondered. Most ducks have their nests near water. They build them in hollow pits among grass, between gaps in rocks, and in tree holes. Kalpana was amazed by what she had seen.
So kids, did you watch the video? What you have learned? Yes, we have learned how birds build the nest, or how they gather the grass and the pill, and how they keep the young ones inside. Right? So my dear students, in today's session, we learned about the different types of nest, how birds build nest, why they build their nest, and how the young ones raise from the egg, right? So these all things we have learned in today's session. In our next class, we will be having a recap of our chapter number 4. Till then, bye bye. See you on next class.